Okay, back at it again with the attempting to reassemble the transmission components. Got several bearings and seals in the mail this week, and the challenge is to press the bearings. This first one's going to be particularly interesting. Press the countershaft bearing into that hole there, and with the aid of my newly purchased 20-ton shop press. I got this at Harbor Freight and assembled it this week. And the first attempt to use this thing is going to be taking this countershaft roller, and this ring needs to be firmly seated against the gear. So we'll insert this in there and see how it goes. I'm going to try probably an unconventional method to try to get the countershaft bearing pressed into the transmission case. I've hoisted the transmission case over to my press, and I've got two safety chains. Break my heart if I break the case, because this project will be over. Never want to drop the thing. So what I've done, like I said, it's a little bit unconventional. Let me get a light. I've taken an old bearing and placed it on top of the new one I'm trying to press in, and then I'm taking the countershaft and going to press against it with the hydraulic press, and hopefully I won't need a lot of pressure, and I'll push that bearing in. I've looked for a ram. I was down at Harbor Freight today, but they don't make anything. I need probably some bar stock. I'd like to have some maybe about 6 to 8 inches long, 1.5 inches in diameter. But anyway, we'll see how this goes. Well, my attempt was successful. I had to keep checking it from time to time, taking the pressure off, pulling the bearing off and the countershaft so I could see it was properly seated. I certainly didn't want to go too far and push it through to the other side. That would have been annoying. And now we're going to attempt to do the spline bearing, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, we've inserted the spline shaft bearing, and the transmission case is back on the workbench. You can see both bearings. I do have one concern, and I'm going to do some asking around. It wasn't clear to me as to how far this spline shaft bearing should be pressed into the case. As you see from the rear side, it is flush, but on the front side it's not. So what I did was, there was a rust ring right here, and so I pushed the bearing up to the rust ring. So I'm assuming, and if I just can't remember, but I believe I'm confident that I've got it in the right position, but I'm going to push this video to some tractor experts to get confirmation. Goodbye.